Well, I survived. I made it through 2 weeks of overnights. Whoop whoop. That was rough. That was really rough. Yesterday and today are the first 2 days I'm actually starting to feel better. Getting adjusted to waking up during the daytime, like waking up in the morning and then being awake during the day. That took some time because my body was so stuck on trying to go to sleep in the morning when the sun came up. So the last couple days, I've been so out of it. I feel feverish almost, just groggy, can't shake it. You can't take a nap because you're trying to correct yourself. That was hard. That was rough. There's a couple new people here. I just wanted to say what's up. How's it going? Welcome. Hope you guys enjoy, find enjoyment in my little videos I make. There's been a little bit of movement, I guess, in the channel, slowly kind of growing in audience levels and more people kind of trickling down in, seeing what's going on. So that's been kind of fun watching that. It's also more, makes me a little bit more nervous because there's, you get accustomed to just like a couple casual, like couple of the regular viewers. Now you have a couple more casual viewers, and now you have like an influx of new viewers, and I'm like, oh boy, I've grown a little audience now. So it's kind of cool being able to talk to more than 2 or 3 people. Now I'm talking to quite a few, I would say. So just wanted to say hi. What's up? I'm going to talk a little bit about how the overnights went. I got treated like dirt. That was awesome. I'm going to talk about that near the end of the video. But before I do all that, I just wanted to do some brief catch-up. I pretty much already covered the brief catch-up. We're back to the regular schedule. I guess, okay, so I'm working on getting out of Lowe's, right? But I did apply internally to a new position instead of being a sales floor associate to the sales specialty position. If I get that, that's gonna bump me to 21, 22 an hour. It's cool. If I'm gonna be there, I might as well keep pushing myself and, get an extra $1 or $2. Second thing I want to bring up, I think I mentioned in the previous video about leading my siblings because I'm the oldest. I found out my brother who's going back to school to be a lawyer, actually. He told me, he's like, by the way, Jacob, I saw that you got off Instagram and all that stuff, and I am following. I was like, that's cool. That's cool. So he's feeling inspired by my actions, and so he completely got rid of like 90% of his social media because he wants to spend more time studying and less time on his phone. And I was like, that's super cool. That's super cool. I went fishing over the weekend on my dad's boat with my uncle. That was pretty cool. We caught a king salmon, but we had to throw it back because it was a wild caught. Can't keep wild caught salmon. And then when we were bringing the boat closer to shore, we hit the bottom with the trolling lines and we snagged a flounder. That was cool. It wasn't very big though. It was like just a little flounder. It was nice being out on the water. I can say that. It was pretty cool. I didn't have to worry about anything really. However, while I was having a good time, apparently my mom was losing her mind and freaking out that she didn't know where I was. I don't even know if I want to go into it. Let's just say apparently she's been eavesdropping on my phone calls with anybody. So she's mad that I told her to go pound sand and stop listening in on my conversations. So there's been some weird tension here at the house the last week. That's pretty much how the updates are going. You're all caught up to speed. Got off overnight, spent 3.5-4 days recovering, trying to get back to the regular day schedule of 5:30 in the morning. It's kind of rough. Overnights were super cool, super fun, super exciting, exhilarating. I am so sad they're over. Sarcasm. It was not the best. It was pretty hard. There wasn't a whole lot that was going on besides moving items from one side of the aisle over to the other side. Now, it was from 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. and there was a group of 8 or 9 of us. So we were tasked with either emptying the whole bay, putting them in the carts, and moving them back to receiving the store, or we were tasked with just dropping everything and quickly moving it over to the new section. That was it. That was the whole thing. And also moving the beams and resetting shelves and just completely reorganizing and redoing all of the department. There was 2 managers, and both of which thought that they were in charge of everything. So you can already kind of see where that was going. Basically, somebody would tell me to do this, and then the other one would immediately follow up and say, hey, why are you doing that? Or who told you to do that? Or why aren't you done doing that? And as you can see, that gets old really quick. Really quick. So in the back of receiving, we had, I think, 9 to 12 pallets of flooring. It was all wrapped up on pallets for storage until we were able to put it back in the home where they go. Now, I was told, go to receiving, grab them one by one, and stage them out in the department so we can start putting them back. As I'm doing this, I get stopped, and I get asked by one of the managers, hey, what are you doing? Who told you to do that? Why are you putting them there? Who told... I was like, wait, just wait. I'm moving the flooring like I was told, and I snapped at her because I was like, I'm doing it for fun. I'm doing it for fun. Just because I want to move these pallets halfway across the store all the way to the other. Just for fun. I was taking product from the shelf and putting it in the carts. Somebody else would come over. Why are you doing that? Who told you to do that? Why are you doing that? You had a spoon and you're eating a bowl of cereal. Imagine your friend coming over, getting up in your face, asking why you're using a spoon and not using a fork to eat your bowl of cereal. Really? That was frustrating. That got old really quick. My boss comes over, and he was like, yo, I have a job for you. You're gonna scrape. And I was like, what do you mean I'm gonna scrape? He's like, you're gonna scrape a sticker. I was like, okay. So he leads me down an aisle, and on the ground there's exactly a 12.5-foot long by 2-inch yellow sticker, and it's a tape measure. That's why I'm so specific on the size, because it was literally a tape measure on the ground. But he's like, you're gonna scrape this, and I was like, okay, sure. It's, by the way, it's concrete floors, and it's not coming off. I'm scraping with a little scraper, and it's the sticker's not coming up. Like, it's taking me, like, I'm sweating, okay? I'm sweating and scraping, and he comes over maybe 5 minutes later. You're not done yet? Oh, I thought you were gonna be done by now. You need to hurry up. Okay, yeah, I'll try to speed it up a little bit. Comes back maybe 10 minutes later. You're not done yet? I thought you'd be quicker than this. And I was like, would you like to give it a go? I was being respectful, you know, kind of jokingly. He's like, no, you're gonna do that. Okay. All the 8 other, you know, helpers and stuff were all there, and they they all came over and just kind of were like passing by, laughing. They're like, what are you doing, dude? Why are you my hands and he's scraping a sticker off right now? I said, I don't know. It's 4 in the morning and I'm scraping a sticker right now. And like, for anything I would do, either one of them would just be so far up in my behind, managing, you know, just. I've never done overnights before, and it was very mentally taxing, because coming home in the morning, getting off work, you know, I go in my room, throw my hat and keys down on the chair, take off my clothes, and, you know, get ready for bed. And by the time I'm getting ready for bed and stuff, the sun's already out. It was hard, because I got the dog who wants to be awake, and I'm very grateful that I was able to actually sleep. Dude, it was so lame. It was so lame. Oh man, I'd get off work and I'd just be so upset and frustrated with the people there. yeah, I got the day off today, so I figured I have a little bit of time to sit down and talk, and now you're all caught up. That brings us to the present, which is today, and that's what I got going on. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. To the newer audience members, yeah, that's what's up. But again, don't be afraid. Drop a comment. Say hi. You know, you got nothing to lose. Cool.